Hello, everyone, and happy Monday. My name is Christy, spelled with an E. I've got my trusty sidekick, Lucky, with me as always. And today I'm wearing one of my favorite hoodies. This is one I got from Goodwill a few years ago, and I have cut it to make it more sleeve than hoodie. I like a lot of times to have just my arms covered, which is why I have made so many sleeves. Sorry, I got to pick him up. Sleeves that, my crocheted sleeves. That's why I love those. And my arms tend to get a little chilly. So I am going to be taking another hoodie. I'm going to show you how I make this hoodie. I'm going to put you down. I'm going to show you how I make this hoodie. I got this hoodie at Goodwill this past weekend when I went. And I thought this would be a perfect project to turn into one like this. So I've got my big scissors with me for this job. These are the really good scissors that my husband brought home from work. Since he works with textiles, these are great for cutting fabrics, especially thicker fabrics like this. So let me show you how I do this. The first thing, of course, is to put the hoodie on so we know about where we want to cut it. So I shall put this on. I know it does not match, but that is okay. So this is where we are currently. Yes, my dear. And I also brought my special box of fun things with me. This is not a Dybbuk box, although it almost kind of looks like one. This is my sewing box where I have all my fun sewing things, and I've got pins in there. And the pins are what I'm going to need for this project. So I'm going to take a few because I'm sure that Lucky will try and get in here and play with things. So I've got a few pins here, and I'm going to mark about where I want this to come on me. So let's see, about right there, and that's about the middle. Be very careful when you're doing this that you don't prick yourself. So there's my first little mark is there. And then I go, okay, well then I kind of want it to start coming down to about this side on each side here. So just getting that marked and then figuring out where on the sides we want it to be. I would say about right here. And I am going to double check and make sure that these are even. And I will show you how I do that. So now that we've got our pins in here, I've got a couple extras. I'm going to put them back in my sewing box. It's not for you, Lucky. You couldn't get in there even if you tried. Well, I shouldn't say that. You've gotten yourself in some really weird places. All right, very carefully so we don't poke ourselves. Take off the hoodie. And now we can see where the pins are. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this together like that. I know this is looking kind of weird. And actually, I'm going to do this on the floor. Okay. So we want to make sure that our pins line up. Lucky, you are not a helper right now. You're not helping. No. So these two pins are not quite the same. So I'm going to move this one up just slightly and leave that one. So these are at the same level. Next, I'll go on to my next pins, and those are pretty much the same. I'm going to move this one up just slightly, so that's the same there. So now I know about where I want that to be. Lucky, you are really trying to get in the way. Now, I'm not going to cut the back part yet. We're going to save that for when we're done cutting the front so that it doesn't get messed up any weird way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start like this and come in this way, leaving as much fabric in the back as possible. I'm going to come right up here to where that pin is, take that one out, and now from here I'm going to go up to my next pin. Right like that, and take that pin out. And keep going up to where this pin is. Ooh. Take that pin out. And now we are on our way back down the other side. So, come back down this way to where that pin is, and follow it along down to the last pin. Right there. Now I've got that part cut, and what I want to do is I want to bring it around down to the back. So I'm going to continue this little arch down to here, but I'm going to curve it again back the other way. Lucky, you are going to need to move yourself. And I'm just trying to cut as straight a line as possible. Doesn't always become perfectly straight. What you can do is you can take this fabric here, and you see where the seam is here. Line up your seam over here and know that this is about how you want to cut it. You can see I've cut mine just a little wonky, which is okay. And flip it around back to the front to continue up like that. And there we have it. We've got it cut. So let's put it on and see how it looks, and we can continue cutting if we need to, or leave it like it is. This one looks slightly different. I did do that on purpose. I wanted it to be a little bit longer in the back. So I have accomplished that. Now, one last thing to make sure you have it completely symmetrical, which I didn't do, but I'm going to do now once I take it off me again, is find the middle of the front like this and make sure we are lining up all of our seams. And we lay this down on the floor again. But we want to make sure that our seams are lined up. So you can see I have a little bit of discrepancy there. So I'm going to put it right on here because Lucky keeps getting in my way. So let me move that sleeve out of the way. Make sure that all of my sleeves are lined up here so that I've got exactly where I want it to be. And I do have a little bit of discrepancy there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to come up here. I knew you were going to do that, Lucky. You are right in my way. I love you, but sheesh. So there we go. It is now a lot more even. And we can do the same thing with the back, and we see that there's a little bit of discrepancy there. So what I'm going to do here is do the same thing, because I can take off just a little bit off the back. It doesn't matter. And I'm actually going to curve it up a little bit sooner, just to give it that nice curve that I want. All right. So there we are. And again, one last fitting. Put it on again. And there we are. My cute little hoodie. And see, we left enough in the back to keep our backs warm. And it's still nice and high in the front. You can have a little peekaboo moment, which is always nice. So that is how I cut on my hoodies. I hope you've enjoyed this little funny video tutorial, whatever you'd like to call it. If you've stuck around and watched this whole thing, give yourself a round of applause, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend it with me. I really do appreciate it. I hope you had fun watching and maybe try this yourself. Have a great day, everyone. I will catch you later. Toodles.